wingman swing in behind the enemy formation and single out a straggling MiG. The MiG brakes hard to the left. Gibson maintains track and centers his Saber's A1C radar-ranging gun sight. A radar unit in the nose calculates the distance, and the gun sight determines the necessary lead to put rounds on target. Gibson pulls the trigger. With each burst, 60 .50 caliber rounds tear into the enemy jet. The MiG pilot tightens his turn and dives toward the deck, trying to throw off Gibson's aim.
They had their nose below the horizon, and I was behind them, but I was on the inside of the turret, and they were turning about 2 to 3 degrees, and I couldn't quite stay with them.
Straining at over 5 Gs, Gibson is pulling so hard that he can't keep an angle on his target. The MiG drifts out of his gun sight. Gibson's wingman, Jim Heckman, has a better angle on the enemy.
My wingman was in position to take him, so I told him to go ahead and shoot at him, and he did.
Heckman scores devastating hits, but Gibson must do something to regain a firing angle. He'll call on a tried and true air combat maneuver, the barrel roll. He'll pitch up, roll around his wingman, and position himself on the outside.
He's not only out of his wingman's bullets, but he is also putting himself back in position to take another shot without hitting his wingman.
I maneuvered in behind them and got a good burst on him. And then he ejected.
One down. But since Heckman scored the most damage, he'll get the credit.
Made the right choice, the instinctive maneuver to stop his downrange travel, roll back into another firing solution while giving his wingman the shot, and then also the wingman got the kill. That's a hell of a guy.
With so many MiGs in the sky, it takes only seconds for Hoot to tally a new target. Another pair of MiGs, 2,000 feet below at 2 o'clock. Easy pickings. But Gibson's gun sight suddenly goes blank.
It was probably dirt in the circuit breaker or something. I just reset it with my hand, but it wouldn't reset. It kept popping out.
No guts, no glory. Gun sight or no gun sight, Hoot Gibson is going on the attack. June 18, 1951. In a wild jet versus jet dogfight, F-86 pilot Hoot Gibson has seen one MiG-15 go down in flames. He's now in position to attack 2 more. The enemy jets are here. Gibson and his wingman are here. He has 2 options. He can nose down into a dive, but he may overshoot. His best option is to barrel roll. The maneuver will put him squarely on the MiG's tail. Gibson pitches up, applying right rudder and aileron.
So as they roll over and lose altitude and roll back down in front of the MiGs, they're in perfect firing position.
Hoot rolls wings level with 2 MiGs at his 12 o'clock. The enemy jets pitch up. The lighter MiGs can climb faster than the Sabres. Gibson must act quickly before they get away.
I didn't have a gun sight anymore, so I had to stay close, and I'd say 400 or 500 feet, and I put the airplane in my windscreen at about where I thought the pipper would be.
This guy's a good shot. He doesn't necessarily need a radar in order to be able to figure out what the range is. He knows from his experience, how big that MiG looks in his windscreen to be at the range where he wants to fire.
Hoot fires 2 dead-center bursts into the communist jet. The MiG pilot ejects as his entire right wing rips off. It's Gibson's first official kill. As the enemy plane spirals from view, Hoot catches sight of his commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Ben Emmert, below him at his 2 o'clock. He's chasing a MiG, but he's not alone. There's another MiG on his tail, closing in for the kill.
He had tunnel vision for that MiG, and I called him and told him I had a MiG was on his tail, but I would be able to take care of him.
Hoot acts quickly. Yet again, he barrel rolls to the right. Gibson levels out with the MiG dead ahead. The MiG spots Gibson and jinks violently in a desperate attempt to shake his pursuer.
He turned to the left and maybe lowered the nose 3 or 4 degrees below the horizon. I stayed right with him. He turned back to the right, and he just helped me stay in position. I got 2 more good bursts into him.
The MiG bursts into flames. At 3,000 feet, the jet explodes. In a matter of minutes, Hoot Gibson has seen 3 MiGs down, scoring 2 confirmed kills for himself, putting him in the running to become America's next jet ace. He claims his 3rd kill 3 weeks later on July 11th, his 4th on September 2nd, and on September 9th, 1951, Gibson downs a 5th, realizing his dream of becoming a jet ace. But the kill comes just minutes after Captain Dick Becker shoots down his 5th MiG. Officially, Becker is credited as the 2nd jet ace. Hoot Gibson is the 3rd.
I felt good. That's what we were supposed to be doing, and I felt like that we were getting payback for all the training I'd been given.
The early jet aces used the same principles of air combat developed for piston engine fighters of World War II. But techniques and tactics had to adapt to the new realities of high-altitude, high-speed jet combat. Fuel management became the overriding consideration in Korean War jet combat. Instead of the large squadron-sized formations of World War II, it was determined that flights of 4 Sabres continuously streaming in and out of the combat zone was the most efficient use of resources. This necessitated strict adherence to flight integrity and keeping the basic finger 4 formation intact. At jet speeds, any sudden maneuver could easily split a flight of 4 or cause a lead to be separated from his wingman. An American fighter left alone was vulnerable. The rule was, singles go south. Just weeks before the air war ends, 28-year-old Captain Ralph Parr will face this danger firsthand in one of the most harrowing dogfights of the new jet age. June 7, 1953, 20 miles south of the Yalu River. Sabres of the 335th Fighter Squadron soar at 43,000 feet, hunting for enemy aircraft.